Ravens Wrap is sponsored by Bud Light, jctickets.net, Geico Insurance, Dunaway Furniture, Ocean City Golf Club, RussellStreetReport.com, Comfort Inn Gold Coast, Holiday Inn Express, the original Green Turtle, hosted by the Blue Ox Bar and Grill.
And welcome back. It's the original Green Turtles Ravens Wrap Show right here on Comcast Beach TV and Delmarva's Rock Radio, the strongest Ravens signaled affiliate on the peninsula, 93.5 The Beach. Check them out online, WZBHRocks.com. We are broadcasting from the Ravens Room, 127th Street and Coastal Highway in Ocean City at the Blue Ox Bar and Grill with Ravens News 44. Give yourselves a hand again. The Ravens Wrap Show is brought to you by our friends at Bud Light, the Comfort Inn Gold Coast, Geico, the Ocean City Golf Club, jctickets.net, the Holiday Inn Express at Northside in Ocean City, and Donaway Furniture, along with buyatoyota.com, and many of our fine sponsors hooking us up with prize packages that we've given out throughout the year, especially jctickets.net with Ravens tickets. So we thank them. We also, of course, extend Merry Christmas and happy holiday wishes to everybody. This is our last show of 2013, and I know we're going to be in the playoffs, so I'm sure we'll be talking in January. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, Ravens Wrap, the Blue Ox, also ravenswrap.com. I'm Mike Bradley from 105.7 The Fan in Baltimore, also locally on 92.7 WGMD. But the star of the show right here to my left, special guest from Baltimore, WBAL Radio and TV, 98 Rock and Press Box, Keith Mills. To his left, OC local, former Lehigh College player John Gehrig. And to his left, from the law offices of Tom Moronic Jr., it's Tom Moore. Also, he's a great writer for RussellStreetReport.com. He's got a piece coming up against the Patriots. A round of applause for them all. So, guys, it's time in the show to take some questions from the audience. And one of the big questions, and I guess first we can ask as well, why there wasn't a penalty flag drawn in the hit that Joe took on his knee.
It depends on the interpretation. It depends on who's officiating. There's officiating crew that will call that. There's a lot of officiating crews that don't. Sometimes it depends on who's the quarterback. If Tom Brady's quarterbacking or Peyton Manning's quarterbacking,
they probably get that.
I'll tell you what. You look at Roethlisberger, and we see Aaron Rodgers up on the TV, the monitor here in the Blue Ox. Rodgers, Joe, Roethlisberger, those guys take a physical pounding, and the calls they don't get are the calls that Brady, Breeze, and Manning get. Total double standard, but that's why I thought that wasn't called, because it's Joe Flacco and not Tom Brady.
I'm willing to trade that one for the no call on the pass interference in the end zone. Even trade. Maybe not so easy. I'll take our.
Well, the news. Oh, go ahead, Tom. I'm sorry.
I got to jump in. There was a call made or a non-call made in the Bengals game. Okay, on the punter, the guy goes out to block in a play, and according to Dean Blandino, who's the head of officiating for the NFL, he's a defenseless guy. You know what they ought to do? Put a yellow jersey on all the punters and let them run off the field. If you can't block.
Yeah, but if you're punting, you're trying to.
No, but after this is during a punt return.
You talking about the Steeler play?
Absolutely.
Well, he was kind of looking around. He was just in no man's land right there. He was just standing there. Terrence Garvin, the kid that hit him, actually went to Loyola High School, and had a shot and leveled him. I thought it was a clean hit myself.
I thought so too. I don't think there should have been.
Because he's a tackler in that situation. He's not a blocker because he's punting the ball. So the rules for that blocker they don't apply.
Yeah, he can't be a defenseless player for some reason. They're trying to make the punters.
He's on the field. I mean,
right. They said, it was unnecessary and it was too hard. This is the NFL.
Yeah.
Even the punter himself said, hey, I have no qualms with the play. And I know that's what draws your ire, John.
Well, that's why
you took a hiatus from the show about the way the NFL's officiated.
Oh, it's
but
ridiculous.
Didn't Drew Brees say a couple weeks ago, he said, I knew he got hit, I guess, in the throat. He said, it must have been a penalty because I got hit too hard.
Well, that's the play that Ray Lewis came out and really just went off and said he was going to pay the fine, held his American Express card. He says, hey, if it's a hard hit, that's my job. My job is to hit hard. And, it was a kind of fun exchange between Breeze and Ray back and forth.
Of course, we do this show on Wednesday, but the latest information we have, Greg Rosenthal, as of about 5:30 this evening from NFL.com, reported that John Harbaugh said today that Flacco will be limited in practice this week. He will be fitted for a knee brace. Of course, he's expected to play in the game. But Joe's a tough guy. I mean, and he still completed a couple of passes and got us into field goal territory against the Lions. I have no doubt, Keith, that he'll be ready to go. He's one of the things you talk about attributes. He's tough. He's durable.
He's as tough. Yeah. He might not be Johnny Unitas tough, but he's real close. Yeah. And Johnny Unitas was probably as tough as they come. Yep. I don't think people around here, probably because we're spoiled, realize how tough he is, because he takes a beating out there. But he took a beat, particularly early in the year. Yeah. Early in the year, he took an absolute pounding, and he got Vince Wilfork last year when they played New England the first time at M&T Bank Stadium, and the Ravens beat him. Someone asked Wilfork in the press conference after the game. Joe Flacco goes, why are we still talking about Joe Flacco? He goes, Joe Flacco is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. He goes, I hit him as hard as I could, and I thought he was down. And I helped him up, and then he looked at me and goes, hey, man, nice hit. Next play, threw a 36-yard touchdown pass. He goes, I shook my head walking off and said, I don't know what else to do. That guy is a big-time player. Yeah. So that's tough, if you ask me. Vince Wilfork.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm talking about earlier, though, with having a numb brain. It's easy to let out. I didn't say dumb. I said numb.
Numb. I know what you said.
It still comes
How
off
do you
really
define
poorly.
Numb? Define numb for me, please.
Well, you don't let the external situations.
Well, he never does.
You.
Yeah,
that's right. I mean, like I said, cold does it, wind does it, and Vince Wilfork does it. I mean, and if Vince Wilfork hitting you,
no, I hear you. I'm with you.
Tom, the offensive line has been much maligned this year. A lot of changes. The running game hasn't quite been there, although we've seen incrementally some decent performances. I mean, the other night, Ray Rice did end up 12 for 56, a 4.7 average. But more importantly, though, you're coming into a game against a defensive line that I tell you, the most games up front in terms of twists and stunts and things. But between Sue and Fairley, the interior of that line with Shipley and with Gronkowski and with Yonda did a great job all in all in keeping them at bay.
They did phenomenally well. I don't think anyone could have expected that kind of performance from them coming in. I mean, this is one of the most fearsome lines, I think, in the game. I mean, these guys are scary no matter who you are, and they were mostly held in check, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, if this offensive line starts playing better, now the secondary is forming into really one of the best in the game. Yeah. So, I mean, if you're getting a situation where your offensive line's coming together like this with big question mark, again, going into Detroit against that defense, and the line really protecting Joe the whole time. If Ray Rice got enough, I mean, it wasn't a terrible running game. They did enough to move the ball and get chunk yards in the passing game. So, I mean, the defense playing really well, and that was a big question mark after the Vikings. You know, of course, that's snow and everything else, but a lot of good signs coming out of this week in a situation with two teams we know really well, and a team and two teams we've beaten before consistently.
Yeah. I was surprised with the Lions, and this isn't taking anything away from the Ravens in that game, but I expected more out of the Lions the other night because that game meant as much to them as it did to us. And we went in there calm, cool, collective, and that's the Ravens, one of the great attributes. And we've been there, done that before. And you talk about an uneven team with the highs and lows. I'm just surprised. I mean, was that just me, or did you expect a more fired up team?
I expect. John, I think you said it. They're very talented, man. They got some really good players. I expect more out of them all year. A lot of the players were saying after the game yesterday in the locker room, we had a chance to talk to them, that thought they might have got a little cocky after that first drive. They was talking some smack. They were kind of feeling how good they were. And then if you remember that next drive, the Ravens got the ball, I think, a 7-8 yard line, and they marched it down. Didn't score a touchdown, obviously, but they mauled them at the line of scrimmage. And guys were telling me that after that drive, they noticed that the Lions were a little bit less trash talky and just like, we are in for a 60-minute game here, and it changed the whole complexion of the game. The fact that they were getting beat a little bit up front.
And that, Keith, the initial touchdown on the first drive was really helped by a just bogus call.
On
third down, the Ravens had
on the slide.
Yeah,
that's a good point. That's a good point. But again, it's at 60. Ravens they don't flinch, man. It's like the old Ali Fraser fights. I want to hit you, you're going to hit me, and who's going to be left standing at the end? And if you go back to that Pittsburgh game a couple weeks ago, man, at the end of the game, when Lee went in the end zone, this is 58 minutes played, and his helmet went off, and 3 guys walked off the field with injuries on that one play. And I'm thinking, man, this is a different level of football. The league wants to caution it up and do all this stuff. That's the way the game was supposed to be played.
Brett Kiesel said it best. He said, it takes me a week just to
come back.
recover from having played the Ravens. Brett Kiesel, one of the toughest guys
no
in the league
question.
from the Steelers.
And those teams playing each other twice gets them ready for all these other games that they have. Look at Cincinnati last week. They wanted no part of Pittsburgh in that Sunday night. No part of them. And this is Cincinnati playing for the division championship, and Pittsburgh kicked the snot out of them. And they just went, all right, here we are. What are you going to do? Well, Cincinnati has been known to take a step back and try to finesse their way out of it. You can't do that this time of year. You certainly can't do it against Pittsburgh and the Ravens.
Well, and the other thing, guys, in this game is that Detroit was coming off a loss to Philadelphia, and we talk about a week-to-week league. How about the Vikings? After a devastating loss to us, they go home. They play Philly, a hot team. Granted, it's a home game. They beat them by 18. So, again, with a lot on the line for both teams, this game, a Monday night game on the road, you can't emphasize enough, and John, I think you said earlier about the importance.
Yeah.
I tell you, I had a lot of butterflies, not that I didn't have confidence in the team, but I had a lot of butterflies Monday night about going up there, and I thought it'd be a tight game, and I wasn't quite sure how that thing would come out.
I can't say that. I mean, you're talking about class. This is what we're talking about. You got to be better than someone. If you're not going to be the fastest or the biggest, you got to be something else. You got to be the smartest, or you have to be the most conditioned, best conditioned. You have to be the most disciplined, or you need to be the toughest. And, that's one thing the Ravens have in their pedigree, in their blood, is just being tough. And they're going to come out and hit you. And then when it gets cold and it gets brutal and the ball stops flying around, and Peyton Manning doesn't have that numb brain. He lets that stuff get to him. You know what I mean? When the balls stop flying around as much when it gets cold, the Ravens are right there, they just need to get into just get into the tournament. And you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah. 60 seconds, Tom. Go ahead.
I agree with John 100%. And the other thing is the Bengals have to worry about the Vikings because they're getting Toby Gerhart back and they're getting Adrian
Oh, yeah,
Peterson
that's right.
back.
They won without those two guys last week, too.
And this team can play. So the Bengals very easily could lose that game if they're looking ahead to the Ravens finale.
I know one guy I'd like to have. I used to think Josh Cribbs. I love Josh Cribbs. Big, strong. Cordell Patterson, number 84 for Minnesota a couple weeks ago.
A rookie.
Whoa, man, put him on our team.
Yeah, definitely.
He's a player.
Toby Gerhart, too. He's amazing.
The Ravens traditionally, although last year was the exception to the rule, and yet we won the Super Bowl, traditionally in December have played very, very well. Got some stats in the next segment we'll tell you about, but they've won an AFC best 4 straight games, and with Miami with the big win at home against New England Sunday, that was big to go 8-6, and if we should both win out, of course, we would get the tiebreaker having beaten them down there. More of the Ravens Wrap Show to come on Comcast Beach TV and Delmarva's Rock Radio. 93.5 The Beach. We're back next.
In April 1959, Art Wall won the Masters, edging out Carrie Middlecoff and Arnold Palmer by finishing birdie, 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 par birdie. 1 month later, Ocean City Golf Club celebrated the opening of their first 18 holes. That course has been transformed now into one of the most scenic golf layouts on the East Coast. Come experience 36 of the most beautiful and challenging holes you'll find anywhere. Ocean City Golf Club in Ocean City, Maryland.
Come see us at Blue Ox.
Welcome to the Comfort Inn Gold Coast. Conveniently located just 1 block from the beach and adjacent to shopping at the Gold Coast Mall and the movie theater. Newly renovated and open year-round with a marvelous bayfront view. Visit us on the web at comfortgoldcoast.com and see our hot deals and great golf packages, or simply call our direct reservation line to plan your stay.